The Pacific Heritage Youth Summit was a summit organized by the National Park Service and the Guam Preservation Trust, and the mission was to prepare, inspire, and teach students to become stewards of preservation and conservation societies within their home islands. And that's why we wanted to gather all the Micronesian youth and, of course, the Mariana youth and the Guam contingency to come together. The way we organized the summit was to have every island that was going to be represented bring in 5 of their students plus an adult chaperone. The Guam contingency, because they were the largest and we were the host, we would have 25 students. And so from that, we decided the best thing to do was to divide the combined group, into 3 teams, and we chose the team titles to be Team Tano, which is the land, Team Tasi, the ocean, and Team Langit, the heaven.
On the first day, we had an opening ceremony at the Loti Hotel. There we were able to meet and mingle with the other delegates. We also performed the first cultural exchange.
At the Department of Agriculture, we learned about the field of conservation through conservation officers and got to experience firsthand about what they do for our island. We also learned a lot about endangered species, and that all the support from everyone helps ensure the survival of these species and our culture.
What are the challenges of caring for and monitoring endangered species in Pacific Island communities?
One of the biggest challenges is being so far away from everything else. Like the kingfishers and some of the rails, a lot of the food sources that we use to get food are in the mainland, and they don't like shipping to Guam anymore. It's so far away, things die before it gets here. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is trying to find stuff that they'll eat that we can get out here on Guam. So it's more trying to be self-sufficient out here. There's also education. I mean, these birds aren't seen out in the wild anymore, so people start forgetting about them. So having them constantly on the forefront of everyone's mind is the best thing for them, because more people are more easily able to help them if they remember them.
I learned about that there are three endangered species around the island, or in birds, and that it's really hard to find their food. You have to go other places to find it, and there are 7 conservation officers, which it's probably really hard to do their job because the island is really big and there's only 7 of them.
So we went to the Micronesian Area Research Center and we got to look through the archives and at different artifacts and through newspapers from so long ago, and overall it was just a really, really great experience.
Hi, my name is Brendan Forrest, and right now I'm doing film from University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability. And now can you tell us where Center of Island Sustainability is and what it is?
So the Center for Island Sustainability is located here at the University of Guam in Manilao in the Dean Circle at House 32. And we are basically an organization that's really focused on environmental sustainability, spreading awareness, energy conservation, renewable energy, and anything that really involves protecting our environment.
Thank you so much. We'll see you again.
I learned that people in Guam need to learn how to go green and actually learn how to not just reuse and recycle, but also reduce what they use by using Go Green bags and the thermos cans and everything else, and stop polluting the planet, because what it does is it hurts our economy and it's not good for us.
So we went to the Aslan Bay Overlook and we learned about World War II, and at the Overlook they talked about 2 soldiers who were named Jorge and Gary. Learning about these 2 soldiers helped the war seem more real because we learned about 2 actual people who were in it.
How do individual stories help us to understand the past?
Individual stories help us, I think, in a different capacity than talking about larger troop movements or movements of fleets across the ocean or something like that. That generally we talk about World War II in that way. But I'm not a fleet moving across the ocean, and I'm not a company or a division moving across the island. But I am one person, I'm an individual person, and so when you tell me a personal story about something that happened to an individual, I can relate a little bit more closely than I can. And I can appreciate what that person underwent. To me, that person is the bridge that links me to that past. I can use that person to help better understand the history that happened 70 years ago.
Where is Aston Bay Overlook and what is it?
Aston Bay Overlook is in Nimish Hill, and what it is it gives us a nice bird's eye view, first of all, of Aston Beach and where the second landing took place with the Marines. It also holds our memorial name wall, where over 17,000 people are remembered for their bravery and their sacrifice, and for the things that they suffered through the events of World War II. So that would include the Chamorros as well, who survived but had also suffered under Japanese occupation.
Next, we went to the Mosal Reservoir. The Mosal Reservoir is a watershed located in the village of Pidi. A watershed is an area where the water collects from areas at a higher level when it rains.
At the governor's house, we had a special dinner with awesome entertainment from the Sinamai and Palau. They also presented their gifts to the governor.
Next, we visited the village of Umatic. There we did numerous activities, such as hiking on Mount Balana. Mount Balanos was really cool because it had an abandoned water tank and also a river.
Yeah, they're refilling their water bottles.
Snorkeling was also a great activity where we were able to look at the reef of Umatic Bay. Another great activity was a heritage tour through the streets of Umatic. All the islands also participated in a legacy tree planting. We ended the day by having cultural exchanges from the remaining islands of Yap, Pohnpei, Kashai, and the Marshall Islands.
Being in this summit gave me the opportunity to meet new people. It was really fun.
We ask a question to our delegates, our youth. If you can give an advice to our leaders, what will it be?
Right. So, what I want my leaders to do to help the environment, like every walks, like weekends, pick up trash, show kids what they're supposed to do, what not to do, and pass it on to them. And what you could do culturally, maybe every once in a month or something, we youth gather up and do traditional performances.
Our government should do is clean up their waste and affecting our environment.
I would say I would like to have more cultural activities and programs that would help increase the interest of the teenagers.
The government should build up memorials, more museums, and to build up more tourist attraction and to keep the culture going.
Tell them to stop wasting money and fit to protect our heritage stuff.
The leaders of the community in Pohnpei, they usually advise their people to help them keep their environment and their place clean.
Lagi mengwafi manglu umum gitar